Good morning, everyone. I just want to wish you all a very warm welcome to what is the 4th Highways Tour Maintenance Association Conference, Facing the Future in Hard Times, A Brave New World. I'd particularly like to welcome the Minister, Norman Baker, who's taken time from his very demanding schedule to be here with us today, and I'm sure we'll all very much appreciate what he's got to say later on. I think it's absolutely fantastic to see how many of you are here today, particularly when our industry is going through one of its most difficult ever periods. Spending on highways maintenance, as we all know, has been dramatically reduced at a time when customer expectation about our service levels remains high. Everyone wants more for less. What a fantastic time to be a leader in the highways maintenance sector. We all have a huge responsibility. Everyone gathered in the room today plays some part in safeguarding one of the UK's most precious and essential assets, our strategic and local road network. Never more so than now, we have a huge accountability to the people of the UK, our customers, to preserve and maintain this asset on their behalf, and to ensure that their experience with us is both safe and reliable. We, as the collected leaders and custodians of this precious asset, are accountable to ensure that we maximise the amount of every pence and every pound spent on delivering frontline services. We're also accountable to play our part in delivering the targets that have been set for us as part of the government's spending review. And finally, I think on that, we must recognise the challenge of the spending review, that it's also an opportunity to assess and to re-evaluate the way that highways maintenance spending is carried out, and to look at new and different ways of working that will become the norm as we move forward. I think we all recognise that we need to balance the needs of the network and customer expectations against this backdrop of reduced spending, and the fact that this is a really big challenge for all of us. We've got to think differently, we've got to throw out the rule book, we've got to be prepared to readily accept new innovation, something that I think as an industry sometimes we struggle with, and we've got to accept those innovations without all the red tape that currently sits with them. But I think fundamentally, we've got to combine our complementary skills as clients, service providers, supply chain, asset managers and technical experts. And we've got to set aside the traditional roles that we have and the responsibilities that we've taken and be prepared to do things in a different way. And I think we've really got to work together to drive the change that's necessary in our industry. I think we all know that there's not a one-size-fits-all solution for highways maintenance in the UK, but we cannot continue to operate with the myriad of different models that we have, the different governance structures, pricing mechanisms, specifications and service standards. It just introduces waste and inefficiency in the way that we work, and we've got to seek out the best ways of doing things, and as an industry, really work together to drive out this waste and inefficiency wherever it occurs. So, in this brave new world, where all of us have got to learn to do things differently, we've got to make the best use of our existing assets, and which is often, a better choice than spending on new build. And put simply, we've got to continue to invest in our highways maintenance and the work that we do. Even in these testing times, it makes not just economic sense, but transport sense. And I guess that's why you're all here today. You've already made the decision that we can and must do better if we're to meet the challenges ahead. Some of you are already engaged in new contract forms, the development of new specifications, different ways of working. And when we've put together the theme for today and the 3 sessions that we're about to cover, we've really wanted to provide opportunities for people to talk about what they're doing and tell us about the different ways of working. And hopefully there'll be things in there that we can all adopt as best practice. So in terms of the way that we've set the conference out, the very first part of it is really about where we are now, which sets the context of the spending review, sets the context of probably the world that we're currently in and the world that we're all experiencing. The second part of it is very much around what the future might look like and what's next for us. And there'll be people talking about the impacts on both on the network and on the industry as a whole. And then finally, in the afternoon session, we've got 4 speakers who are basically going to provide some practical examples of what they're doing to meet this challenge. And as I said, hopefully there'll be things that we can all draw upon from that. I think we have an excellent speaker lineup today. We've got a fantastic sellout crowd. And we're really looking forward, I hope, to share the views of the speakers and their experiences. There will be the opportunity for questions at various different stages. And for those of you who have been to an HTMA conference before, I'm pleased to say that the voting buttons are back. And there'll be an opportunity later on in the morning session. Basically, we'll pose some questions to you and look to collect your views, which we'll then share with you after lunch. But a big part of today is the opportunity to network with colleagues from across the sector. We've got lots of people here from both the private sector, public sector, clients and providers and supply chain. And it really is a good opportunity to talk to people about what they're doing, to learn from others, and to take some of that best practice back into your own organisation. So I really do hope you make the most of the break and lunchtime sessions, as well as the drinks reception at the end of the day. We're also very keen to hear your views about the conference itself, and there are feedback forms that we will be distributing later. I firmly believe that the HTMA as an organisation has gone from strength to strength, and we're now well positioned both to input and support the changes that need to happen. We offer a single voice of the industry and access to experienced people from across the sector via our committee members and our working groups. We actually represent the people that are out there doing the work in the front line. We are absolutely committed to working with our clients, both for the strategic and local road networks, to deliver the best service that we can to the public. We are also offering our support to the Highways Maintenance Efficiency Programme that we'll hear later about this morning, or more about this morning. We cannot underestimate the size of the challenge that's out there before us. I do think we all recognise that. And we also recognise that there are going to continue to be difficult and tough decisions that we'll have to take. And these will permanently alter the way that we work. But I believe that we're ready for it. I think as an industry, we're now ready to embrace the change that needs to happen. And I really look forward to sharing the experiences of our speakers today and learning something from that. So that's it from me. Thank you again for being here today. Really appreciate those of you that are attending today, and I really do hope you'll learn something from what promises to be an interesting and informative day. On that note, I'm going to hand over to David Hutchinson, well known to many of you, past president of the CIHT, currently the executive director of the HTMA, who will lead us through the morning session. Thank you, David.